Yo, I've been having to record my voiceovers several times over just because I'm so lost for words right now. Perhaps some people think I'm being a bit dramatic over 1,000 people, but it just has never really processed fully. Not even 1,000, but when I hit milestones like 500 or 200 or 100 or even like 10, like that's the number of individual people across the internet that have seen a video of mine, enjoyed it, and decided, okay, I'm gonna subscribe to this guy to see more. And I just don't feel like I can be thankful enough. But I just want to say to every single individual watching this video, thank you very, very much. This is a level of happiness I don't think people feel that often. And if you're watching this and you do have a YouTube channel, then I'm sure you'll know what I'm talking about. And ultimately, it's just refreshing. This is something I've been working for such a long time, and now the only thing I really need to worry about is my exams that start in May, I think. Well, I know they start in May, but specifically like May 10th or something, I don't know, but around that time. So if I do suddenly stop posting, you know what happened, but I've made a promise to you guys before, I will always come back. There's a few things I wanted to do for this special occasion. I don't know if this is like a weird thing to do, but some people do hair reveals, and I don't feel like doing a full face reveal yet. I have posted my face before, and some people watching this will have probably seen it, but if that's the case, unsee it. I don't look like that anymore. Anyway, here it is. I've also done a hair reveal before. It was on Discord, but I've since cut it and it looks very different. So if anyone saw that picture on my Discord server, which is still there, but it's just I don't look like that anymore. And yes, by the way, I know if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know what my hair looks like, but most people on my YouTube channel don't follow me on Instagram, and I just decided to do it here anyway. Moving on from that, I also put this on my story and told people to ask me questions, but it's currently only been up for 3 hours at the time of me filming this voiceover, and I don't really want to start answering stuff before everyone's had an opportunity to say something, so I'm going to wait until tomorrow to finish answering everything. In the meantime, I'm going to expose some of my analytics, just because I think they're kind of cool and kind of interesting. By the way, these screenshots are taken on a phone, so yeah, they might not be of the best quality, but I'm very comfortable in bed right now, and I can't be bothered to go and sit back at the computer, which I've been sat at for long enough today. So this is the age range of people watching my videos. Apparently 63.4% of them are 18 to 24, but I feel like most people are just lying about their age, because like what 24-year-olds are watching Roblox content? And then apparently 15% are between the ages of 25 and 34, and 9.1% are between the ages of 35 and 44. Oh, and let's not forget the 3.5% between the ages of 45 and 54. Also, this is for the past year, but I guess it's, you know, it's clearly not that much different. According to this, I have a slightly higher female audience percentage than male audience percentage, although when I select lifetime, most of my viewers have been male. Okay, now this is interesting. For quite a while now, the United States has been where most of my viewers have come from, behind the United Kingdom. And by the way, these statistics are from a lifetime, so 1.4% from the Philippines, 1.3% from Canada, 0.7% from Australia, 0.2% from Malaysia, 0.2% from the Netherlands, 0.1% from Sweden, and 0.1% from India. South Africa and Mexico also come up sometimes. Oh yeah, and Indonesia, so you know, that's pretty cool. Okay, and finally, I don't think this is very important, but in the past 28 days, 13.7% of people have watched my videos with English subtitles. I do not subtitle my videos, so you know, they're completely auto-generated, and let me know how good they actually are, because my videos are sort of full of stuff like this.
CBD Twitter is my favorite.
Oh, you know.
Literally, Fortnite. Yeah.
Show me where the restroom is.
Like, I find it hard to believe that any AI is able to decipher what the hell that nonsense was. Anyway, I'm gonna come back to this video later because it's currently Sunday and I have school tomorrow. And obviously I wanna answer as many people's questions as possible, so I'm gonna probably lie down and probably go to sleep, and I'll come back to this video very, very soon. Okay, I'm back. I got home from school about a few hours ago. There's 3 things I really want to talk about before the Q&A, but I promise you they're really quick. First thing is, thank you to anyone at school today, if anyone's watching this, who said congratulations for 1K. I really appreciate that very, very much. The second thing is, in a revision live stream, I told someone I'd shout them out for A-level psychology. I'm not joking, it was a live stream. I don't even think they're gonna watch the video, but here you go. So yeah, there you go. And the third thing I want to show you is actually some art someone made of me. My friend Ash made this. She's honestly so talented, it blows my mind, and I just really wanted to show it in this video. I'll leave a link to her Instagram in the description. She posts her art quite a lot on that account, so yeah, just go check her out, show her some love, because she's honestly really, really good. Okay, moving on. I think I got quite a lot of questions. I think this might be quite a long video. I said make them as personal as you want. Some details I might leave out, but I'll try and be as open as possible. I'll start with like the more general questions, and I guess we'll just go deeper as we go along. How does it feel to hit that 1K sub milestone? Very, very good, for the reason I explained before. Does it ever sink in that more than 1,000 people have seen something you made and decided they enjoyed it and wanted to see more of it? Are you still good at Geometry Dash? I used to have a Geometry Dash channel, and Geometry Dash is a game that has a very, very special place in my heart. I played the game on and and off because it seems to come in phases. Like, my love for the game just comes in phases. For the past 5 years or so, the way it's been is I'll get really into the game and I'll dedicate some time to trying to get good at it, and I'll make some significant improvements, but then something will come up, for example, exams, or just I'll get really into something else and I just won't have much time to play the game anymore. And by the way, the people who get good enough at the game to become, like, you know, good enough to beat a level like the one I'm showing on screen, I mean, look at this, it's absolutely ridiculous. For some reason though, I just feel like if I wanted to be top 1% in the world at something, I don't feel like I'd choose a $2 jumping game. Still though, massive respect to the people that do, because the precision and just memory you need to beat levels like this is ridiculous, trust me. What part of England are you from? So I live in London, I've lived in London my whole life, I live in South London. I live in one of the less nice parts of South London, but it's not like terrible, it's just not very safe. It's also not very clean, but I think I've been to worse places, so it's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world. What do you think is the most useless uni degree? I mean, to answer this question, I'm gonna exclude one of the, or like all of the university degrees that are very oddly specific. I heard there was one literally dedicated to surfing. I think that would be pretty useless, but we're gonna ignore that. I think the most useful known degree is probably music, because well, then again, I could be totally wrong, but I don't feel like you really need a music degree to be successful in the industry. And I say that because I've never heard any famous pop artist or rapper say that they've been to uni and that's the only reason how they know, you know, how to make music. Especially when it comes to things like writing lyrics. I mean, obviously when you study music, you study a lot of music theory, but writing lyrics is quite easy with some experience, especially if you feel genuinely about the things you're writing. I'm not claiming to be some kind of lyrical genius at all, because I've written stuff before, like years ago, and I've looked back on it now and thought, what the hell? But it's just, I feel like writing lyrics is one of those things you just get better with experience, and I don't feel like you need someone to teach you to write them, if you know what I mean. This ties in kind of well to the next question. Will you ever go back to making music? And for those of you who don't know, I used to make music, but it wasn't anything I aimed to do professionally. It was just kind of stuff I'd put on SoundCloud when I was bored. Like, I have FL Studio, and all I'd ever do was take a beat from YouTube and put it into the TuneBat analyzer and set the key and BPM, and I'd just sing whatever I felt like singing. And it was everything. Like, I made beats and songs and even just like random ass sounds, but I think music's gonna be a thing of the past. I'll probably still make music, but I won't release any, because I used to use singing as kind of like a coping thing. Like, most of my lyrics were fictional, but there was some times where I would write what I genuinely felt, and it was easy that way, but I personally don't feel like it helped me out. It kind of just reiterated that I had something to be upset about. I know it's not the same for everyone, but that was just my personal experience. But don't let me discourage you from making music if that's what you want to do. Just go for it and see how you feel. What are your top 3 Bombaclat dogs? I'm gonna actually answer this question. I'm probably gonna sound very childish, but when I met this dog here, his name's Rufus, and I used to be scared of dogs. I'm not a dog person. I used to be scared of dogs until I was 15. But when I met Rufus, he pretty much became my bestie, and he single-handedly got me over my fear of dogs. I haven't seen him in years though, because he lives with my family in Mexico. There's also another dog there. Her name's Zoe. She was really cute and kind of just used to, like, she was a small dog. She kind of used to just lay on me, but I don't think I have a picture of her anymore. I just kind of lost the time. And then in the number 3 spot, I don't know. I don't think I have a top 3 Bombaclat dog, but those are my top 2 Bombaclat.
Which Bombaclat dog I am?
Do you consider making a face reveal? I've had this conversation with a few people, and I've come to the conclusion that yes, because I'm gonna have to do it eventually, especially with what I have in mind for the future of this channel, which it ties in with this next question. You're gonna do any IRL pranks in the future? Listen, I'm not trying to run up to people in public and with a mask on just because I'm afraid to show my face on the internet. I'm gonna switch my content up one day from online trolling to a bit of IRL trolling, and I wanna do IRL streams, but not like the degenerate ones like Neon, but just general chill IRL streams. And I've told several people in my life that this is what I want to do, and they always ask, why don't you do it now? But this is genuinely the limitation of being a 17-year-old middle-class kid studying for A-levels and applying for going to university very soon. No one wants to watch me go to school at 7 o'clock in the morning when there's nothing going on, with no one about to troll and no fun in doing any pranks. And furthermore, what cameraman am I going to get that wants to work at 7 a.m? But yeah, I'd love to do them. And I think they're genuinely funny as long as they're not like harassing anyone or insulting them for no reason or smashing stuff in public. I think they're funny. And I just realized it kind of ties into this other question. Do you think you're a confident person? And the reason I say it ties in is because doing prank videos like these, it's kind of a confidence thing. A few years ago, for example, when I did my 500 sub special, I would have responded with absolutely not. I was not a confident person. I couldn't order a meal. Maybe a bit before, because when I made the 300 special, I was 14. But when I was like 13 or 12 maybe, I used to beg my mum to order food for me because I was so scared. Nowadays, I've improved a lot, I think, and I've done it on purpose. Even though I get it, some of these pranksters are just degenerate and I wouldn't recommend taking any inspiration from them. But I was really moved by people that do videos in public. And around when year 12 or even year 13 rolled around, I decided I wanted to take steps when it came to upping my confidence. And literally all you have to do is realize that everyone else is also a person. I don't really know how to explain it, but whatever doesn't make you confident or whatever makes you feel socially anxious, it's really all an illusion. And the more you speak to people in public, the more you realize it. Like, even if you literally ask someone after a movie, for example, how they thought about what they felt about the movie, that's a perfectly normal thing to do. You might just think it's not, but it is. If you said something like, I'm gonna shoot you or something, then yes, that's weird. But if you're just asking how the movie was in their opinion, it's nothing strange. But yeah, it's one of those things you learn with experience, I guess. You'll get better, but the only way to get better is to start taking steps to improve it yourself. Speak to anyone, speak to random ass people, troll them a little bit if it makes you happy. Obviously, don't be disrespectful, but just be a bit confusing if it helps you. But don't harass people, that's the one thing. Do you play any sports? I used to box, but I don't really box anymore because I took up MMA instead, which, by the way, is kind of like boxing in the sense that it's so refreshing and like, I don't know, it's my personal experience, but I recommend everyone to try MMA at some point in their lives. They're the only two I've ever done routinely. When it comes to football, I think everyone has played football at some point in their lives. I'm more of a casual player. There are guys at my school who are honestly really good, and I'm definitely not on their level. I wish I was, but it's just, I'm not one to dedicate time to playing football. But I have played it, and I do enjoy it. What games do you play for fun? Honestly, nowadays, literally none. I mean, I've had my phases. Geometry Dash was definitely one of them, but there's also been Fortnite, Valorant, Siege, which I haven't played for a long time now, by the way. I never really reached any good player levels. I mean, like, especially not with Valorant, because with Valorant, historically, I was terrible. I don't know, I don't commit to games because even though they are fun, trust me, I like video games. I don't know, I can't commit to them. I don't know why. Would you rather give up your job at McDonald's or your YouTube? I think I've kind of already indirectly answered this question because I don't work there anymore, so you take a guess. By the way, one of the reasons I decided to quit was because a manager tried to fight me simply because I asked him to leave some other kid alone. And I was low-key really scared, but obviously when someone wants to fight you, the last thing you want to do is show them you're scared. So I was kind of just in his face, but people came over before anything happened, and I'm glad they did. Who's your favorite boxer? I have an immediate answer. Muhammad Ali is a man I wish I learned about earlier. I honestly encourage everyone to learn a little bit about Muhammad Ali and what he did. I have never been so moved by an individual, and I'm definitely not someone that idolizes celebrities or anything like that. I'm not idolizing him, and I'm just showing him the respect he deserves. Sure, Floyd Mayweather might have been more intelligent with his defense, or Mike Tyson, he hits like a truck. Manny Pacquiao as well, he went through like a billion weight divisions. But Muhammad Ali, I could never explain to you how I feel about him. Let me show you a video that I think either made me like shed a tear or like I almost cried. Let me show you.
You still shuffle? Show Muhammad, watch this, watch Muhammad, watch.
Watch me, Ali. Champ, watch me, champ, I'm fat. Watch the feet, champ, my feet, watch the feet, champ. I'm bad, champ.
Muhammad Ali had an impact on the world, and I don't think there's anyone quite like him. Why did you stop using Wiz? Because Wiz sucks. Wiz is kind of like a dating app, but it's also like Yubo in the sense that you don't necessarily go on there to get a girlfriend or like a wife or something. You go on there just to chill and speak and make friends, but most people turned it into a dating app. I got it because my American friend was streaming it to me and he was just kind of trolling people, so I got it to troll. I was never on the app. I was never delusional enough to think I was gonna try and marry someone on Wiz. Let me tell you the main problem with all these dating apps, including Wiz, and why you will never find the mother of your kids on an app like this. There is nothing romantic about, okay, listen, usually in life you get what you chase, but when you chase the opposite gender, and probably even more so if you're a guy, you will probably never get it. People having more options on who to marry isn't necessarily a problem, but I feel like it indirectly affects the likelihood of someone actually choosing you. and hence I feel like you're just wasting your time on these dating apps, and you should probably just go outside and meet someone, and you honestly shouldn't chase it. You should honestly wait for it to come, in my opinion. That's the way I look at it. I think love honestly subverts a lot of expectations about life. Like, usually when you chase something, you get it. And usually if you sit around waiting for something, like money for example, it will never come, because these things don't fall out of the sky. But I think when you meet your soulmate, I think that's honestly an exception. I mean, what is the success rate on dating apps anyway for guys? 1%. But yeah, that's why I stopped using it. I promise you, it's useless. Who wins, Maya or Minosh? For some context, this is my friend asking whether my cat would be my friend's cat. And I honestly think no, because my cat is very, very skinny, and my friend's cat is apparently quite fat, but I don't have a picture. This person asked me 4 nonsense questions, but I think this is the only one I can actually answer. I'd say Malaysia or Singapore. And when? I don't know, as soon as possible. What do you think of the red pill community? I think they're horrible, and I'm gonna explain myself. I may say something wrong because I don't actually watch these podcasts. I've only seen clips of them, and I'm not ruling out the possibility that they may have been out of context, or there might have been something I'm missing, but something tells me that I already have a good enough understanding, and I'm gonna try and explain why I don't like them. These podcasts usually consist of a bunch of like gym guys, and they're all surrounded with all these OnlyFans models or club goer type people. They will sit there for hours upon hours talking about why women shouldn't do this, and why men, and this is the main thing that bothers me, right? They sort of seem to imply that you need to be a millionaire with gym game. Basically, they imply that you need to be some kind of internet perceived alpha male. And don't get me wrong, I agree with some of the general ideas. For example, men should be strong, yes. Men should protect and provide for their women, yes. Men are under a lot of pressure in society, yes. And perhaps OnlyFans is not the most respectable career because it's always the easy way out. But they will say, or at least imply things like, oh, help with the housework, lol. I'm a man, that's the woman's job. I protect and provide. Like, it's their duty. Like, yes, you protect and provide because you're the man. But do you know what? I think I've realized that the problem with all these red pill podcasts is that they don't treat marriages as though they're a thing that happens because 2 people love each other. It just seems to be some kind of like random commitment that's made for no reason. And yes, I know it's crazy, there's actual love involved in a marriage, I know, but for some reason these podcasts don't seem to speak about it that way. But any good man will help his woman when she's tired by doing housework or cooking or playing with his kids. Any good man with any common sense really will do that, and I don't know why the Fresh and Fit podcast and all these other red pill podcasts don't acknowledge that. And by the way, being able to cook is something that some people I think should just universally know. Like, maybe you think that if a woman can't cook, she's failed somehow. But if that's the case, and especially if you're like a 25-year-old man and you don't know how to cook, then yeah, you're a moron. Do you consider yourself famous given your following across every social media? Now, for those of you who don't know, if there's anything I'm famous on, it's TikTok. But even then, I feel like you can still have a large amount of, like, you can still have a large following on the internet, but still have no one know who you really are. I mean, I feel like if you ask most people, do you know someone called Xpolo? They'd say, huh, who's that? I honestly count myself quite lucky. Fame is one of those things that you can chase and get, even if it's by doing bad stuff like degenerate live streams. But in future, and generally speaking in quite the far away future, but in the future regardless, I want to use my fame for good causes as opposed to just cause like just to be a nuisance in public, because that's just weird. Do you like your school? I got asked this question during my 500 sub special, and I remember saying absolutely not. I hate it. I absolutely ate it. It sucks. But speaking now, I'm in the sixth form, and it's a much smaller group of people than it was like during when I was in the lower years. And as such, I just kind of feel closer to everyone. It's not the best. I mean, it's still like full of weirdos, but I mean, every school has weirdos, so I kind of have to get used to it. And even like in the sixth form, there aren't any weirdos. Everyone's calm in the sixth form. If anything, I'm probably the closest thing to a weirdo. Do your IRL friends know about your YouTube channel? Yeah, 1,000,000%. I mean, look at this Among Us video.
None of us are the imposter. She was suspicious. Listen, everyone, I've got an accusation to make. This girl was waiting around and like dancing about waiting to kill me while I was in lower engine. So I'm gonna vote Daisy. I don't know about you guys, but
Voting me for no reason. I'm gonna assume it's you.
it's not for no reason. It's not for no reason. I'm accusing you. This is a valid accusation. Why were you?
It's not a valid.
Calm down.
Land.
Not even just my friends, but pretty much people at my school. They all know I have one. And it's alright that way because I'm not gatekeeping it from anyone. Do you think it's valid for someone in a relationship to have a boy/girl best friend? This is a very popular topic of debate among the red pill community, who think that No, absolutely not. But yeah, I don't know the answer to that question. I've never found myself in a situation like that directly, so I have no idea what it's like. I want to say there's nothing wrong with it because when you're with someone, you're supposed to trust them just by default, but I think I'd be ignorant to think that people's trusts don't get abused a lot more often than they should. Listen, I was gonna try and give a definitive answer, but I don't know, I guess it's situational. I don't know what it's like. Would you rather have family and friends and be poor or be rich and alone? People who answer the question with rich and alone haven't really thought the question through properly, in my opinion. I'm not one to say that money doesn't buy happiness, but I think it kind of buys pleasure more than it does happiness because there's a few things that money can't buy. Humanistically speaking, there are 3 things that money cannot buy, those things being peace, health, and love, by which I mean genuine love, because people will love you for your money but won't care who you are. And furthermore, for health, it can probably help with health, but generally speaking, I think it makes more sense to focus on your health before you focus on your money, because it doesn't matter how much money you have if you're terminally ill and about to die. This person asked 2 questions. One was tell us a goofy story and one was tell us a sad story. I'll do the goofy one first because it's just easier. One time in year 11, me and some friends set fire to the school field. There's a patch of really thick grass. I think it's also got some plants in it or like bushes or something, but on the field there's basically just some random patch of thick grass, and we were trying to set fire to like, I don't know, some paper or something in school, just because school was boring. And for some reason, after having set fire to not just the paper but the grass, we decided to run away, and we could literally see all the smoke coming up into the air behind the bushes. And I don't even think we were supposed to be on the field because it was mostly like year 7s and year 8s. So everyone on the field saw a bunch of smoke going up into the air and nobody knew why. And then we were all saying like, why the hell did you run away? But yeah, then me and a couple of other guys went over to go put the fire out. We had to run back in front of all the year 7s and 8s, and probably, I don't know, I have no idea how we never got in trouble for any of the things we did, because there's no way no teachers saw smoke rising high into the air from behind some bushes, because every year 7 in the school saw it. But yeah, that was it. That was one of the 20 plus times we either set fire to the school to things at school or just brought in ridiculous things. Like, we had guys in year 11 boxing because we brought in boxing gloves. We brought in a BB gun once and started shooting each other with it. We ripped a fence off. We melted some like plastic seat. Oh, I miss year 11 so much, man. Take me back. And then as for the sad story, I don't know, the best thing I can come up with is something that happened not long ago. There was someone I met in 2022 at some like family party thing. I don't know. By the way, that I know how that sounds. No, we're not related. From what I remember, it must have been like November of 2022, and I hadn't seen this girl until November of 2023, so literally a whole year later. But during that time, and especially before November 2023, like right before sort of like October. And by the way, this was during my Fortnite phase as well, so obviously this is before we met since like 2022, but we played Fortnite for I think 14 and a half hours straight with pretty much no breaks. My sleep schedule was all over the place. It must have been like half term, especially because it was October, so I'm guessing it was half term when this happened. I don't really remember. Which, by the way, this phase of my life was like so lame anyway. I literally would sit at home most of the time. I wouldn't do much. I would go boxing sometimes. The only time we actually took a break was at 11 a.m. when I went to go boxing. So it was like 10:45 to like 12:30ish, and then we just started playing again until like almost 3 p.m. It was midnight, midnight to 3 p.m. almost that we were playing. No, I'm not proud of it, but you get the point. Like, I thought we were close. So now in 2023, November 2023, I'm seeing her for the second time and the first time since literally a year. And then what happened? Oh my god. Basically, we had like a friend group of people our age. It was like people of all ages were here, including my parents were there, everyone's parents were there, everyone and their grandmas went to this party. So I was kind of in a friend group with this girl and 2 other guys and her 2 other friends. Her 2 friends had the most stupid argument on earth. I don't remember exactly what it was because I wasn't asking questions and I didn't really care, but from what I could understand, it was about a TikTok that happened in the bathroom. I think that's what I heard. When they said something that stupid, I feel like they were kind of asking for a sarcastic response, so I started saying stuff to both of them, saying, "Oh, I say you bash her head in. How's she doing that? That is unacceptable." What I obviously was not anticipating was that they were actually going to take my advice seriously. I am not solely responsible for what happened next, but basically I don't know how to explain it. I was kind of like sat down on the floor and there was kind of a corner, behind me was a corner, like a corner that was just a hallway, I guess, or like a corridor. This is really the best example I can give because I'm horrible at explaining directions, but I was sat here facing this way, and then behind me was a corner like this. And I'm not sure where the girl I was speaking to was. I guess she must have went to the bathroom or something, but the next thing I heard was that, but louder. And by the way, I was sat there with the other two guys. I was the only one who took the initiative to go up there, and because basically where they were, there was like another doorway, and their parents literally would have seen them fighting. So I stood in front of them and moved them away, and then broke the fight up. I don't even know most of these people's names. I'm not even joking. Like the only reason I have a friend group with them is because their parents know my parents. I think one of the guys' name was like Miguel or something like that. But yeah, and then basically the girl who I was speaking to came back after that and started blaming me because apparently this was my fault. This sounds like the most childish thing because it is, but she was saying like it's my fault because I kept saying silly comments like I say you bash her head in or ridiculous stuff like that. Like, come on. Okay, I get it. I kind of instigated it a little bit, but come on, like, we're not 11 years old. And furthermore, the situation was about a TikTok. Like, it was already stupid enough. For you to then go and have a physical fight about a video is completely beyond me, and it's got nothing to do with me. But yeah, and then after she started having a go at me and swearing at me and stuff, I tried having a civil conversation after, but she didn't seem that into it, and then she had to go. So, and I expected like a message or something after, like at the very least, even if it was like an angry message, but no, she genuinely has not spoken to me since. And from what I understood from her friend, I think she wanted an apology, but I simply refused to apologize, even though, don't get me wrong, I missed speaking to her a lot because she was someone quite important to me at the time. But I'm not apologizing if I don't think I've done something actually wrong for someone's attention. Like, I'm not that submissive. But yeah, genuinely, she hasn't spoken to me again because of that. And I was kind of like upset about it for like a couple of weeks, but then I kind of moved on because realistically speaking, would you reveal your first ever YouTube channel to the public? I'm not going to reveal it, but I promise you it's not hard to find at all. And if you're curious as to what I did on that channel, I would literally put on an American accent. The reason being, I believed the only way to be successful on YouTube was to be American, because I hadn't seen any British YouTubers except for like Stampy Longnose at the time. And I would literally just... what would I even do? I used to like, me and my friend, we had a series called Phone Wars in which we would, it had nothing to do with the phones themselves. It would literally just be us play fighting and throwing pillows and plushies at each other while holding our phones in our hands. I don't know why we called it Phone Wars, because we never even, and wait, hold on. Also, one of them wasn't even a phone. My friend's phone was an iPod and my phone was just like an iPhone 5 that my mum didn't use anymore and didn't have a SIM in it. But yeah, there was that. I guess I would try and like vlog stuff with an iPad 2 camera. Oh my god, no. I used to sit in front of my TV, and because I didn't know how to screen record Xbox, I used to film the Xbox screen with my potato camera, and it would just be me playing Xbox, but you would literally see the TV and everything else. And most of the time, it wasn't even facing the screen because I had to balance it on my stomach or chest, I guess. I would sit upright and I would balance the iPad to stand up and have the front-facing camera see the screen. Don't ask me why I thought that was good. I was like probably 8 years old. I don't know if you're the right person to ask, but what's the best thing to do after a breakup? Honestly, yes, you're right. You're asking the wrong person because I'm a random YouTuber and I'm 17 years old, but I'll do my best to try and answer the question. Listen, I understand it doesn't feel nice at all, and at the end of it can be so bad. It got, for me, once it got to a point where I started feeling physically sick and I literally lost my appetite completely. I used to say time heals all wounds, but when I gave that advice, I was 14 and hadn't really dealt with the pressures of growing up, and I'm almost 18. I literally turned 18 in less than a month. But now I've changed my stance ever so slightly. I don't think time heals all wounds. I think it heals all wounds for those who are willing to work to accelerate the process. Usually the social problems you face in high school are adapted to fit, literally they're adapted for your age in the sense that they're not really that problematic. And if you're younger than me and still in secondary school, then you might hate me for saying that, but if not, and you're older, then you'll know what I'm talking about, and you'll know that the pressure gets worse as your life continues. But like I said, time does not stop. If someone's disrespected your generosity, regardless of how old you are, just bun it, bro. Go and do something else. Genuinely don't waste your time. Like, time is the one thing that you can't get back because it, like I said, it doesn't stop and it doesn't pause and it's not going to pause for you. Learn anything you need to learn. Start taking back control of your own life. And when you meet someone the next time, keep that control so that way when you meet someone else next, you can be you can be a better version of yourself and give this new person a reason not to leave you. And by the way, you probably don't want to hear this, but this person has not left you to be by herself. The whole point of breaking up with someone is to go and find someone better. Don't listen to any of this nonsense they'll tell you about, oh, well, you know, I'm so sorry, I'm you know, it's not you, it's me, I just need some time for myself. Like, yeah, maybe they think they need some time for themselves, but as soon as they meet someone they think is better, they're going to start to like them again. And they might have genuinely internalized that belief, but at the end of it, they're going to find someone else. The best thing you can do is take back control of your own life, then time will heal your wound, and then you will stop caring. Near-death experience? This one I'm going to have to think about. The best thing I can think of is something I don't even personally remember myself, but it's a story my parents told me from when I must have been like 2 or 1 years old. Apparently what happened was back when my parents and I lived in some kind of like apartment building, I must have fallen down some stairs or hit my head on the railing or something, and apparently there was like blood everywhere and it was just a lot and people thought I was going to die or something. But as far as like, because obviously I don't remember that, I was 1 or 2, so it's not part of my conscious memory. I don't remember anything that close to dying for that actually happened to me that I can remember. So yeah, that's the best way I can answer the question. What do you think of the whole Middle Eastern wars? Listen, if you're on about Israel-Palestine, then I think anyone with common sense will tell you that Israel is genociding the Palestinians, given the ridiculous amount of civilian lives that have been affected. People like Piers Morgan seem so like upset or confused when his guests are unable to answer questions like, do you condemn Hamas, or are Hamas a terrorist organization, without like, you know, an immediate yes or no answer. The word terrorist has absolutely no definition whatsoever, especially not in the West, because people can say whoever they want a terrorist as long as they can justify it. A lot of people think that the West and the US are the world's biggest terrorists, and nobody can tell them that they're wrong because they justify it by saying that the US and UK have actually killed so many people, especially in Muslim countries, since World War II. It's actually ridiculous. And just to give you some examples of countries bombed by the US, here are a few: Libya, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, Pakistan, China, Indonesia, Laos, Somalia, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Sudan, Yemen, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Ecuador, Cuba, the list just honestly goes on. So many civilian lives have come to an end because of the US. And now, thanks to Israel's war on Gaza, over approaching 34,000 people have been killed. And it's honestly sad, not just because it's a high number, but because it's a high number of people. Israel clearly do not look at Palestinians and Muslims as people. I do not think that what Hamas did was good. I don't think most people have been saying that what Hamas did was good. But all I'm saying is maybe if this wasn't the case, perhaps Hamas wouldn't have chosen to go in and kill so many people that day. The October Hamas attack happened because Israel and the West decided to keep trying their luck with killing civilians. These things don't happen out of absolutely nowhere. And if anything, I'm kind of surprised this kind of thing didn't happen many years ago. The last thing I'm going to answer is, would you join the military? And the answer is absolutely not. I do not identify with the UK in any way. There is nothing about the UK or its political ideologies worth dying for. Do not join the UK army because one day they're going to send you to fight for some stupid cause or kill people that don't deserve to be killed. Okay, I think that just about wraps up everything. I did skip some nonsense questions, but you know, I think you guys came through with what you said because there were some really good talking points, and I just really wanted to use this video as an opportunity to just speak, I guess. I wanted to take the opportunity to speak some actual sense in a YouTube video as opposed to, like, you know, what happens usually, which is just me trolling people, and usually the people I troll aren't very clever or smart. Thanks again very, very much for 1K. Like, seriously, you don't understand what it means. I'll continue to do my best for you. I hope you guys can still continue to enjoy what I post. And so, yeah, I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye, everyone.